Hi, happy Tuesday. I'm Sarah Bailey. I'm a certified professional coach, and I'm here to share a tip for you that if you use it every day, this short 10-minute video can actually change your life. I call this video Absolutes and Evidence for a couple of reasons. First of all, I'm going to talk to you about absolutes. In our world, we think and talk a lot in absolutes, thinking always, this always happens, or I never have any luck. We think of things as right or wrong. We think things didn't work or they don't work. We also can think about things in terms of I can't do that or I could never do that. These are all absolutes that we use every day, and they really influence how our life evolves. So one of the things that I think about when we talk about absolutes, it's also important to remember that our brain is like it's like a computer. So it has its own spam filter, and we are inundated with millions of messages every day from our thoughts, from advertisements, from just our basic bodily function, breathing and your heart pumping and moving your arms and legs and talking, walking, blinking, all these things that it just naturally does. And add to those things all the messages, calls, texts, choices at the grocery store, driving a car to work, what you're going to do at work, all of those things that happen every day, just millions and millions of messages are coming into your brain. And so in order to prevent overload, our brains have like a spam filter. It's kind of like a mechanism that shuts out things that are not important or pertinent to us. So what we think about, our brain lets that information in and says, okay, we think that, so we're gonna let that information in, or no, we don't think that, so that's not important, we're just gonna file that away. So it blocks things that are contrary to our thoughts. Therefore, what it does is it finds evidence to prove our thoughts right. So when you think things like, I can't do this, your brain is gonna push away anything that may say, oh, you could do it like this, or you could do it like that, or this is another possibility. It's going to find the evidence of, no, you can't. You've never done it before. It's going to remember times that you failed. It's going to find ways to prove you right, because that's what you have thought. That's the thing that's going through the spam filter and getting into your brain. So it proves you right. Your brain is amazing. It's so powerful and amazing, and it can really do all these amazing things. But what happens is our thoughts end up limiting us, because our brain says, okay, this is what we think, so we have to prove it right, and everything else is not important and doesn't apply here. So that's what I'm talking about, is absolutes and evidence. When we use absolutes, I'm always late. Well, your brain is going to say, okay, I'm always late. Oh, I have more time, or whatever the case may be, and you're going to end up being late. Or it doesn't work. My kids always say, oh, this toy doesn't work, so they stop trying. So they're not going to check the batteries, or they're not going to see if it's turned on, or they're not going to try anything else, because they have told themselves, no, absolutely, it doesn't work. So it's done, it's broken. So that is how our brain works. It's also interesting to think about if you've ever noticed a car and decided, oh, I want to get this car in this color. And once you think about that thought and have it in your head, you start noticing that car wherever you go. It's not that these cars just magically appeared once you decided that you wanted one. It's that your brain was filtering it out. It was saying, that's not important to me, that's not important to me, that's not important to me, this is important to me, so this is what I am going to focus on. So it wasn't that they were never there. It was that you just weren't noticing them. It wasn't getting through the filter. Another thing that's interesting about absolutes and how our brain works is that when we have a thought, thoughts turn into actions, and actions turn into behaviors. So if we have a thought, I'm never going to get this done, if it's a project at work, or if it's going through school, graduating from school, I'll never finish. Those thoughts turn into feelings, and that's maybe anxiety or worry or frustration. So those negative thoughts are from our negative thoughts turn into negative emotions, and then the actions are the next thing that happens. So we get the next stage is the actions. So what happens is we start making small mistakes, and small mistakes sabotage what we're going to do. So it's proving us right. We're making small mistakes. We're not going to get there. We're not going to finish. If it's saying, I'll never get this done, our brain starts thinking there's too much to do. There's not enough time. I don't have enough information, those sorts of things. And so that fills your head. Your brain starts taking those cues. You start feeling anxious or nervous or frustrated, and then you may give up. So when there may have been time, you spend all that time in your head thinking about all the ways that it cannot work, instead of, okay, what's the possibility here? How can I make this work? If not in total, how can I do it partially? And then your brain starts figuring out ways to get it done, chunking it down into smaller components, or knowing to ask someone if you don't have the right information, figuring out who you can ask for that information. So whatever we think becomes a reality because our brain takes it for fact, and it says, okay, this is what it is, this is the fact. And so everything else doesn't apply. That's gone to the wayside. So another interesting thing is, like, that's how two people with completely opposite views about a certain thing can be 100% certain that they're right. Because whatever they think, and this person is on this side of the spectrum, this person is on this side of the spectrum, well, they have this belief, and it's an absolute belief, and so what they have is they've collected evidence to support their beliefs. So it's not that there aren't other ideas or thoughts or things that can influence how you think, it's that they only have the evidence to support their thought, and this person is the same. So that's why two people on two totally different opposite sides of an issue or of a belief system can have completely opposite thoughts, because they only have and recognize the evidence to support their point or their point of view. So it's super important to think about these things, and also to remember this is something we have control over. So take a minute today and really think about the times that we say never, always, can't, didn't, good, bad, these absolute judgments that we make. And then stop yourself and say, okay, so I have just eliminated any possibility of actually seeing it another way, because I've closed that door, and my brain is only seeing the ways that it can't work or it won't work. And so take a look at think about your thoughts, think about what's going on. When those come up, say, oh my gosh, is that really true? And maybe every once in a while it is true, but there very rarely are 100% absolutes. So it's something to think about, because then you're limiting the outcome and you're proving yourself right, which means you're not going to be able to finish, or you're never lucky, or you always miss the boat, or miss out on something because you're not around. Whatever the case may be, when you use those absolutes, you're shutting off any possibility of otherwise. So this, I think, is such an interesting thing, and a lot of the people that I coach encounter this in some way, shape, or fashion. And once it's kind of brought to their attention, your brain is on alert. It's looking for it, so it will notice more. So you can easily make this kind of change in your life. It will make dramatic results, and you can work on it every single day. The thing about coaching is it's not, you can't wave a magic wand and everything changes, but there are little things and slight adjustments that you can make in your everyday life that make dramatic results. And so I hope this helps. I hope this changes a lot in all of your daily lives. And if you have any questions or want to learn more about coaching or what I do, you can visit my website, sarahbaileylifecoach.com, or you can email me at sarah@sarahbaileylifecoach.com. Hope this helps. Hope you have a great rest of the day, and I'll talk to you soon.